Hello again. Hi, friends. It's Annette. I'm back. I'm excited to be here and welcome back. I'm excited that you're here as well. And hopefully, together, we can just continue to celebrate starting projects and making some progress on those projects. And, celebrate all things memory keeping. So, I'm excited currently to dive into my 2025 Week in the Life setup and kind of show you where I'm at in my progress with it. Okay, so here I am. It is May 2025 and Week in the Life officially kicks off, I think, next week with the community, the week of June 2nd. I was working on my 2024 one and I just felt like I wanted to jump in and get my 2025 one documented. So I got the products and I just kind of set it up and dove in. And last week I documented. And just like every week in the life, it seems like unpredictable. And, my best laid plans always get derailed. Just kidding. No, but it's true. Like it can be challenging to do this project. So that's what I'm saying is full number one is give yourself lots of love and grace for whatever you are able to accomplish. So, all right, here we go. What I want to do today is kind of dive in and just kind of show you where I'm at. On Instagram, I shared my 6x8. I'm documenting in a 6x8 with the Ali Edwards album and release this year. I bought the whole everything and I'm using a lot of it actually for me, but I'm also thinking, okay, I could use those products, the ones I'm not using now, I'm going to use them in past projects or even set up, an album for maybe next year, as well as like some of the dividers. I thought, oh my gosh, those would be so great as a 10x8. I didn't want to cut them down. So anyways, long story to say, 6x8 is the way I'm rolling with it this year. Okay, so enough beating around the bush. So I didn't do a pre-Week in the Life video, so that's what this is going to be. I'm going to kind of show you where I'm at with the 6x8 album. This is from Ali Edwards. And let's just go through what I did for my foundation pages. With the kit this year, one of the mini kit was the by the numbers. So I wanted to include that in this album. And I'm going with definitely like a more scrapbooky approach versus like, documentary, streamlined, that sort of thing. It's going to be more crafty for me, I guess is the way I'm kind of looking at this. So I used a title card here and I haven't done the reason why there yet. And then I have one of the past story kit or from Ali Edwards. They used to come in these envelopes, these envelopes. And so what I did is use mega adhesive tape. Currently I have 2 of my Polaroids from the week in there. I'm not sure what I will do with them. I had started taking notes in my field notes, little pocket notebook. I lost it. Killed my motivation. It was very frustrating. I found it. Good news, but it killed the motivation. So what I was using this for was the timeline. I had a timeline stamp as well as a sketchbook. And I was thinking, oh, this is so fun. I was really loving documenting them. And also just having a place to kind of randomly put things. And that ended after I lost it. So yeah, it happens. It was that kind of week. So it's there. I can use that to help me as I gather up all the photos. I can probably fill that in, and it might be something that I do. It may not be. Who knows? I could always just use the pocket for the Polaroids. Again, who knows? But it's a place to put things. So, have a home for things, as Ali calls it. So basically what I did is I really wanted to lean into the by the numbers. So 7 days. And then I have some of the other numbers, and I was going to do like how many hours or 7 days, so many hours. You could even go down to the minutes there. 1 week here, what I've done is create like a title page / introduction and the 2x2 pockets. I think that'll be great because I can add in a lot of the overview of the week and just kind of have a week at a glance there, front and back. I could do that. I could have some journaling spots there. The By the Numbers mini kit had this vellum page, and so I wanted to use it in the beginning. You could also use it in the end if you wanted to keep that section just as a separate section in the back. So currently I have it here, and I kind of like it because it kind of keeps that theme of numbers. It kind of kicks it off and explains why I'm doing it. And I love the quotes in the little on the tags. And the digital kit would be great for these because then you could make them big, which would be cool. But it's got the life in numbers. It's the little things that count. And many of the things you can count don't count. Many of the things you can't count really count. So that's a quote from Albert Einstein. And I love that because, you know, at the beginning of the week, I'm like, all right, I'm going to count all these things. And like, I had a whiteboard and tally marks, and it was all fun and good. And it lasted. No, I did okay on that one. Some of the other counting didn't do so okay. But what's great about technology now is that we have a way to track and kind of pull a lot of that content together, which is awesome. A couple of the numbers I wanted to include were our ages, and the quote is, in the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years. And I don't want to get emotional. Oh my gosh. My husband warned me I would get emotional. But yeah, we had some health challenges in our family last week, and it was part of the reason why it was very difficult for me to stay focused on this project. I struggle with that as it is, but it was difficult. Okay, it was difficult, but we are grateful. Things are okay, and yeah, we're good. But yeah, it was a tough week. My mother-in-law had some health challenges, and she is strong, and she's a fighter, and she's pulling through, and she's making lots of progress. So, and she's home. So we're excited. And I love this other quote. When I started counting my blessings, my whole life turned around, from Willie Nelson. How cool is that? So I love that. I definitely want to include that. So again, just grateful for our people and our dog. So kind of celebrating that. Okay, and so next I have my days. So I use the pattern paper as a main divider. So this is going to be kickoff Monday then. So Monday, open it up, and I'm going to have, you know, some more places to hold content here, and just kind of mix and match some of the content. I found some things from my stash as well. I love the quotes here, and I like them here. I'm going to probably maybe even use a brad or something, or stitch on those, maybe make an eyelet and stitch them on. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to adhere these. A lot of times I hold things on temporarily with just some washi tape, and then that just holds it there. So I haven't exactly figured out what I want to do that yet with this. You could even make a pocket here, pull things out. One of the days I did print out a screenshot here, and this one I just did to 6 inches, but you could potentially have your screenshot go up to like 8 inches, I think. So, which would be a fun thing to include there, because then I've got a space for that kind of orientation of photo as well. So, kind of has a variety of shapes with the photos when you do it that way. Okay, but not getting too far ahead of myself here. So basically I didn't do anything yet on Monday other than add in some things. On Instagram I did share this, so you're welcome to kind of check that out too. And I wasn't sure if I would get to doing a video yet, but I shared a photo of all my, with the By the Numbers kit, I used Stays on ink, and I used the stamp from this week. Let's see if I have it handy. Oh yeah, here it is. So I use this stamp, and I use Stays on ink so that it's a permanent ink, and you're going to want to like make sure that you peel off the protective coating or layer off of that. So I think I did. If not, oh my gosh, I didn't. I was wondering why that one was a little smeared. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and do that one. I was like, that kind of looks weird there. So yeah, make sure you take off that protective coating. But it's a fun stamp to, they fit on these numbers great. And then you can add like a little date stamp. I have a small one I got from Studio Calico. They had a clearance sale. I think this is what it's from. And that's what I used here for the date on that one. I love date stamps, you know. Mega date stamps, little date stamps, I love them all. So yeah, this project is great for that. And that's another way to include your numbers too, is to use the numbers to document your day, you know. So Monday, you know, 5.19.25 or however you denote your days of the week there. So that's a fun thing to do. I have the other thing I wanted to mention that I kind of did. So the By the Numbers mini kit had these little tags in it, and I just really liked them. I liked how they worked with the scallops here, and that really gave me a lens to look into like each day. I could kind of like just kind of focus on one main thing each day. And so Monday was cups, for instance. And so what I want to do is have a photo of you know, a bunch of my water cups or the coffee cups or whatever it is that I'm documenting there. And I've got to go back. I had a big whiteboard in our kitchen area that I used tally marks on. So I hope I'm going to go check and see how much I actually got documented. And then that kind of will guide some of that storytelling there. And then I have extra 4x6 photo pockets because I just know I took a lot on Monday. And then I just have another set of the 2x2s just to give me more of the, you know, things of that day. And I thought, you know, I could do the time here if I wanted a chronological type of documentation here as well. That could be a fun thing to do. And then I've got, you know, you can always add in more page protectors if you want to use like enlarged photos or just put them in directly into the album. And that's kind of the overall like plan or formula that I have. And then I just repeat it during the week. So that's the main things. I did add a couple of things into pockets. We bought a pineapple on Tuesday. That was really fun. So been enjoying that. We went and saw Lilo and Stitch this week, so it was kind of like Hawaiian theme was an underlying theme for a lot of our food. We tend to like to do that to help us with our meal planning. Miles, I'm pretty sure I got my husband to check the miles for me that day as we ran. I got a few groceries that day. And then Wednesday was, I'm a big fan of Mindy Gledhill. She's an independent artist, and so excited for her. She released a new song that day. So it was like a prismatic kind of day celebrating Mindy all day. And that's kind of was the big theme there and the exciting release for her. So I had a screenshot, kind of already started to print a few things out. And as I went ahead, I did upload some photos, and I got some printed here at home with my PictureMate, Epson PictureMate PM400. And with it, when I choose just the 4x6 paper, it will print with the border. So I went ahead and lately I've not been dealing with any borders. I just am like, whatever. But I just felt like with this album, it was kind of fun to do that. So I've been using some borders on my 4x6 photos this time, which is fun change. Let's see what else I've got. So this one, on Wednesday, I did text messages was going to be my main theme there to track as something extra to track. And so I did some screenshots, and that's what that's how I got those too. So I did some screenshots here, and yeah, kind of fun to show the phone on the table, and then me holding the phone to show some way to document. I got a text message that her song was out and went and listened to it. That was fun. So I'm going to do that where I type in or I add in the number of texts that we had that day. So I need to go back and make sure I documented all these things. And then let's see. Wednesday, again, I just mainly just have it there. Steps was going to be the thing I was going to track here. And steps, I was like, okay, you know, you can do more than one way to look at steps. You can look at like the steps that you took, right? You can track your steps that you take and have a daily walk, you know, that sort of thing. Or you could do the steps it takes to do certain things. Like say if you were making something and you had different steps. Okay, step 1 is this, step 2 is this, step 3 is this. That could be a fun viewpoint on that thing that you're documenting. Let's see. 5 Friday, I was doing books. Again, books could be the number of minutes I read. It could be the number of books I have checked out. I needed to return some books that day, or hopefully, yeah, I got them returned. But yeah, I tend to check out a lot of books. I have quite a stack of books that I want to read. And sometimes I do better than others at actually getting it done. So that will be a fun story to tell there. And then 6, we went and did a little micro adventure, a little family adventure to a local sunflower orchard. And I'm very excited about those photos. So hopefully they will turn out, and I'll have some fun sunflower photos, which will be throughout the album too, because we had sunflowers here already, and then we went and found some more, and they have some really cool, unique ones. I just love them. This one was minutes, and so that one will be fun to track. Even like showing the minutes of the video that my husband captured. He just got a 360 cam, and he's having fun with it. So he did like a 45-minute video out at the orchard. So that could be a fun thing to document. Different things you can document that way. And then 7 Sunday. Oh, and the minutes. That's 2. We went to see Stitch that week. Lilo and Stitch. This was so fun. We went at 6:26 p.m. showing for 626 for, experiment 626 for Lilo and Stitch. And it was so good. And my husband even captured the exact time that the movie started. So that's why I have minutes. I was like, why do I have minutes there for the Stitch one? Yeah, that's why. That's cool. And then, so they went and had an adventure together. And they stopped at the record store, and they got me the Lilo and Stitch album. It's so cute. So the fun thing about this is something that's fun about having your album kind of set up so you have some pockets to add in. I also have like buckets. I have bins of stuff from the week that I collected too that I need to take photos of or cut down. But it's still so fun to have some of it already in there. It's nice. I like that. And then this one was blank. So I can always add in, something that I want to document. Let's see if there was anything on here. Remember this could be on there. Or I found the by the numbers story kit stamp. The story stamp from one of Allie's story kits. And this one has like the best parts. That could be a fun thing to track. The top 10, that's something I'm going to be tracking at the end. So I'm not sure what I'm going to, important numbers, memories could be a good one to track there. So I'm going to look through my stamps, or I might just use my typewriter or something like that to find something to track there. I can't remember. An interesting thing would be to I could count all my my records that I have. So yeah, we just started collecting records this past year. So that would be a fun thing to document, maybe a collection of something. And then that's it. So that's kind of how I have kind of divided the days of the week there. And then I have an epilogue section here by the numbers. Okay, so here is the kind of after section, which will be a kind of fun way to compile and a place to house all those numbers that I'm documenting, right? And so I wanted to do a little story about that. And I grabbed the 2x2 pockets. I thought it would be fun to have insight to track some of the dollars, the monies, percentages, and this the pound sign. It could be the hashtags. I don't think so. I think it's going to be like the number of times I did something or something like that. I'm not sure. I just have it in there in case I want to use it. Let's see. And then I have this page. I was thinking for this one, I was going to do get the digital kit and print this page out, and then have it so it's just kind of an open, full spread here with these words repeated. I thought that would be cool. The other thing I thought of these ones would be to do a 2x2 or maybe one of the 3x4s or something so you could do a whole page of those. So you could kind of pull in some of that content. And so like say steps, get a photo of your feet from where I stand type photos, and do that every day that you go for your walk, and then write the number of steps you took. The meals, you could, you know, meals at home versus eating out. However you want to do it, you know, maybe naps, sleeps plus naps, however you want to do it. There's different ways, and I haven't exactly decided on that yet, so I just kind of have them there. Then I had used some of the 3x4 pockets with these ovals, and it's another thing I could talk about is like the things I bought. Maybe this is where some of that could go. The giant Stitch Squishmallow that is now on my bed because I love it. Stitch and I bonded this week, and got some new flip-flops too. Some of that I might have even gotten that like the day before or something like that, but it's still kind of part of this week. So some of the stuff of life, you can kind of go ahead and have a place for it here in your album. And then at the end, I really, really want to do this. So I really want to do a 100 list. I really do. I want to do a counting up the memories 100 list and talk about like my favorite 100 moments or memories from the week. So that's why I'm going to do it this week while it's fresh, right? And then a top 10 list here too would be fun. And then maybe a photo or something at the end and just talking about gratitudes. So top 10 gratitudes or top 10 moments, however I want to look at that. So I have my work cut out for me. But it's fun work. It's joyful work, right? I love it. There's my week in the life setup so far for 2025. I love it. I'm so grateful for it. And it helps me to really live in the moment this week and to stay positive during some challenging times and ups and downs that we had as well. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to dive in. I was struggling getting some momentum and motivation to get into this. So hopefully by sharing this video, it may help you. Mostly it's helping me, and I'm grateful for it, and excited to get back into the things that I had captured and just kind of start gathering all this content. So that's going to lead me to the second part of this video, is kind of sharing with you some of the notes that I took during this week. Okay. All right. So like I said, the primarily way that I documented the week, I just picked up my cameras. So my phone or my Canon, and just mainly took photos. So I did do some journaling. I wish I had, of course, you know, you always say, I wish I did more, but it was mentally, emotionally draining enough for me to, not draining, but yeah, I guess it was. I had some challenging stuff this week. So I just didn't have it in me to do it, and that's okay. And I'm going to love myself through it. Right. So I did do some, and I will give myself credit for that. So one of the things Allie has, and she talks about how she's going to use that as her primary place for her words during her week. And I would highly recommend going and checking out Allie. She will do an amazing job with it. In the past, I have actually done okay at writing in some of these. Like I said, I just didn't have the bandwidth to do it. I just didn't. But I did stamp in it, so it's committed. And I really want to use it as a way to kind of go back in and fill in some of the story for me, so that I can tell a more well-rounded story versus just the photos. So I did do a reason why. So captured that somewhere. I said, hello, 2025 week in the life. This is my reason why. This year, my reason why is just to do it. Have fun. Keep it simple, playful, plus playful. Not take myself too seriously. Let go of perfection. Just capture, plus document what I can. Mostly, I want to live, plus be present. Have fun playing with numbers. Seeing our week through the lens of numbers sounds fun. To collect some bits plus pieces of life and celebrate it. That's for sure. We got this. 2025, week in the life, here we go. So just write something. Just free write it, you know, let it go. Let it out of you, and and you got a place to capture it. So I pretty much just did the dates, you know, on there. And then I used the stamp again, by the numbers stamp. Which one is that one? Is that the big one? I don't even know where it is, but it's one of the stamps had the by the numbers on it. So I use that, and that's a place I can also track the numbers. And then at the end, I was going to do the number scavenger hunt, is what I was calling it, and do the number of photos. This is a great one in your smart albums, and like in iPhoto, you can do this. You can pull together all of the photos from the week, and you can see how many videos, how many screenshots, which camera you took it from, all of those kinds of things. And then I'm going to go back through. I need to do some of that before it gets lost, is some of that content for the numbers. I did take screenshots of all the temps, I'm pretty sure. And oh, a happiness scale, that was one of the things I was thinking you could do, is kind of rate your stuff, you know, like rate your food, whether it's a, you know, 3 out of 5 stars or 5 out of 5 stars. That's a fun thing to do. Moments I wish to remember, happiness scale, gratitude list, hugs. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to do on one day, was track hugs. So I might have done that. I think I tracked it every day, actually. So some days I did better actually getting the content down. And that's okay. And like I said, here in this small pocket notebook, I was going to use it as just a place to kind of capture in the moment stuff, whether it was, you know, little sketches, random sketches, magic moments, things I was doing, listening to. Just here I was writing down. All right, I used a date stamp or a time stamp to denote some of the times. And I loved it, and I was so loving it. And then like I said, I lost it, and then I found it again, though. So that's good. And then I have these notebooks. I have a huge stash of these notebooks. I got them on a clearance sale. They're from Letterfolk, and I love them because they open up like, you know, what do you call that? Lay flat. And they're my favorite notebooks. This is my morning pages, so this is like personal writing. And I did do some writing in there, so that's why I have it out. And then I have my week in the life projects and plans here. So this is where I'm like writing out some of my different ideas, as well as some things kind of got thrown in there. So this is where I'll sketch out like my plans, my ideas. And then I was hoping that this would be a place I would capture content in here as well. Just sometimes I like to have like just a place like this to capture content, and it works good. So my plans is to have like this crafty album, and then I have the 10x8 to do a more documentary style scrapbook if I wanted to do that, where it would just be primarily photos. And it depends on that. And I have my journals, so kind of just getting some of those things. So yeah, didn't capture everything there. That's okay. The other things I did, let's see, I did the mindset. This is from Allie's Storytelling with Week in the Life. So highly, highly recommend that class. Go check it out. In there is a download that you can print out. I think it's on like the main class page. It's in the content. Click on that, and it's got like mindset, story plan, and a design plan, and then maybe some notes, I think, and places to jot down more ideas and things like that. And these are where I kind of try to capture some of my reason why and some of my initial ideas, as well as in that notebook. And then these are from Get to the Workbook. These project breakdown pads, no longer available, but I print them out from the digital, and then I'll use them to track things. And so what I started doing, it didn't last very long, but I did do Monday, and I still need to go and fill in some of these, but I was using that as the date, having by the numbers, the highs and lows. And so this is also a fun place to capture some of that content. And it would be you could even just fold this up, put it in your other notebook, and have it if you wanted to have something separate to walk around with and, you know, have your clipboard. So I hope those are some fun ideas. I think I think I'm getting things. I'm starting to remember what all things I captured and tried to capture this last week. So yeah, it's fun. Okay, and so just to wrap up, now that I have my some of my supplies here, I'm going to go back through all my photos and start working on this. Get photos printed, start to go through and like what did we do each day, and just start jotting that down on the timeline. You can use your photos for that because under info on your photos you can see what time things are. So it's great because it takes some pressure off. You can always go back and capture that later if you can't in the moment. But some of the fun things that I have tallied up so far. The photos, the total number of photos I took last week with my big camera and my iPhone was, and this includes video. So I do capture some video. I really focused more on photos this last week, but 4,037. That's kind of crazy, right? Is it? I don't know. I just enjoy documenting the week. I enjoy playing with angles and different settings and stuff like that. It's part of the fun for me. And yeah, so I end up taking a lot. I don't use that many. Believe me, do not use that many. But to break it down, I had 3,894 photos and 143 videos. With my iPhone, I took 1,006 photos and 83 videos. My camera, my Canon, I took 2,591. So I guess I took 60 videos. For some reason, it wasn't breaking that down for me. And I took 2 Polaroids, I think. I think I might have taken more, or my kiddo might have taken more. I'm not sure. I'd love to get one of those Polaroid printers so that I could do the after the fact too. That'd be cool. And screenshots, one of the cool things about a smart album on the photo software, at least that's what I use, you can break it down more even and say like what it is. So 272 screenshots. So that's crazy, right? I did things like screenshotting the times of things, so I had a lot. Just to remind myself, just to jog my memory of what we were doing. And then my husband took 255 photos and 6 videos. So that was fun for him to be included in there. And what we did is we did a shared album that we could drop things into so he could share with me some of those photos and videos. So I'm excited to include some of his content in the album this year too. So that to say, it's a big project, and got to give ourselves lots of love and grace on it, right? And just understand it's going to take some time, but it's definitely worth it. And yeah, I'm excited to start diving into my content, get out my bins of stuff and go through all my photos and just start making things happen. So I hope that you all have a great week in the life, whether you document this week with the community, or you've already documented earlier, or you're going to be doing it later. It's definitely a project that is worth it. I love it. It really helps me to appreciate and live in my own self better, I guess. To live where my feet are, that sort of thing, is to be present and to capture what is real life. And one of the things I've been wanting to share, let's see, I kind of fell off the bandwagon of sharing with on Instagram, but this is something I've had written down. I had taken a photo of the TV because it had this quote on it last year's Week in the Life, because it was all about Pixar. But I love this quote, and this is kind of a guide for me. And it says, this is from Russell. He's a little kid in Pixar's Up movie. And it says, he's telling a story about how he and his dad would go get ice cream, and then they would count the different kind of cars, the red cars or the blue cars. I think that's what it was. And he says, that might sound boring, but I think the boring stuff is the stuff I remember the most. So, okay, I love it. It's kind of my theme this week, is trying to count up, see your life through the lens of numbers, and just have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. Capture what you can, but don't stress about it. And just remember, sometimes it's it's the boring stuff that we want to remember the most. So hope you guys have a great week. I can't wait to see your projects. I can't wait to make progress on mine too. And we'll see you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Take care.